Alright, it's my first video blog. I don't normally do these things. I don't really like them that much. I don't really listen to too many people talking to me in this manner as well, but, you know, I felt it imperative for me to make this video, not only for my own posterity, but for dissenters across the nation and the world right now, because we are actually living in a pretty happening time, I guess you could say. You know, one point I want to put across simply is that you tell me whether you think 2016 was a normal year. You know, it's almost over. Was it a normal year? Did it seem a little strange? Do you know why? I don't, you know. Do you know why it seemed weird? I mean, just a lot of strange things seem to be happening. And I'm not trying to sound, you know, like, oh, every year has odd things happening. No. Like, come on now, you know. Like, really? Hillary and Trump, really? And, like, Bernie Sanders, all that stuff? Like, you know, the election. Now, that was something. That seemed like something out of science fiction. Or at least fiction. I say science fiction. But, you know, there's a lot of other things exposed. And, you know, a lot of those things got swept under the rug or wrote off as just political mudslinging. But, you know, it really wasn't. It really wasn't. I don't want to get into all the things that Hillary Clinton has done with her foundation and everything like that. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance going on with people trying to expose that to them, and also showing them at the same time that Trump also has his flaws as well, too. He obviously is working with government insiders now. It's pretty clear. I mean, Reince Priebus is not going to bring about the draining of the swamp, you know, and even if it is, it's already pre-planned, and, you know, it's not like this is coming out of nowhere. It's not like if they were to throw everyone in jail for the pedophilia rings right now, that this wasn't already thought up. Like, they know what we're doing. They know that they fed us information and that we are acting upon it. You know, it just takes a little bit of free thinking to just look at everything, to take a step back and just see that it's all just a game, it's all just a ride, you know, as famous Hicks said, still may be around, you know, he said it's all just a ride. Alright, you know, this could all just still be a reality TV show, like we were saying that, you know, it seemed like in July when we were looking at this election. And a lot of people embrace that. A lot of people find it as a breath of fresh air that we finally have a politician in the office that's not your same old, I guess. But, you know, is that just an act? I think it is, because I think they're all just actors. I think that they all have been groomed and planned through Hollywood-esque type situations. It's clear. Like, ever since Reagan, and long before then, too, they've all been actors. They are actors for the people who really run our country. So, I honestly think that I do believe in the rings. I believe that there are child trafficking rings. There's way too much evidence that has already been exposed years ago that proves that this has to be. Jimmy Salovey, Jeffrey Epstein, Michael Jackson, all these people. Like, come on now. Like, really, you don't think that they're all connected? You don't think that they hang out with each other? Because they do. They do. They go to the same Jesuit dinners. Of course they hang out with each other. Of course they are aware of their fetishes and what they're into and stuff. You know, it's like, the whole joke is that it's supposed to be seen as a conspiracy theory. So, you got a lot of these controlled opposition folk, like David Icke and Alex Jones, who sell snake oil off to the side, but then will, you know, tell you to, hey, look at this. You know, how am I supposed to believe you on one side if I can't believe you on the other? And you know what? Maybe your mineral juice is good or something. Maybe it will defluoride my brain. But you know, I think I'm doing all right now. I think I'm doing all right, and I don't think I need to buy your stuff. So, anyways, that aside too, I really don't trust any news source anymore, because you don't know where the hell they're getting it from, and it's It's insane. It's like the CIA really has won with making everybody believe false lies and such. The one point I want to leave you on is this. The one person, the one big source that I've been looking back on and that has been showing itself to be true, and I'm not talking about some Egyptian frog cartoon god, alright? Because honestly, actually, that does have a little bit of legitimacy, especially the fact that now there's user-created propaganda, and it does have to do a bit with synchronicity, which I'm going to get into just now. But this guy, this FBI anon that posted a couple months ago, he mentioned the foundation, he mentioned looking into Hillary Clinton and all her nefarious actions in Haiti, and told us to look at the cards and the Wikipedia page, and, you know, a lot of these things have come up to be true. And also, it's very true that a lot of the people that work in the military support Trump, which he also mentioned. But the one big thing that he mentioned near the end was a thing called the Cicada simulation. Now, he mentioned that this simulation is trying to simulate reality to a T. So what happens when they're able to achieve that? What happens if there is a simulation right now that is attempting to simulate every possible timeline that can happen? Which it may sound impossible, but you know what? It could be getting pretty close. And it could be they could be simplifying us and simplifying what we think in order for this simulation to actually correctly get us right. And if it is, then we should be very, very concerned, because how can you tell if its reality is our reality and vice versa? You can't. You can't. You know what that's called? That's called the singularity. That's called the singularity. So, you know, that's what may get me in trouble right now. That's what may get me with a bullet in the back of my head and called suicide, you know, is me talking about the singularity right now. Because that is something that we should really be concerned about. Which nation, what group of people are actually operating this, if it exists? Real quickly, too, before I have to cut myself off here, this roots back to Cicada 3011. It has to do with the Cicada program, Cicada project, and it was a code that was given over the internet a couple years ago. I was actually part of the people trying to decipher it, but I'm not a computer hacker coder myself, more of a linguistic type, and I wasn't able to really help too much. But I remember seeing it. And people have apparently never been able to crack it, as so most think. I honestly think that some people have been able to crack it, and that they've been tapped, and they've been taken, and now they're part of this think tank, which is operating the Cicada simulation. People speculate that it may be at CERN. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say where it is. Hell, it could be in this room right here. I don't freaking know. But anyways, you know, just want to leave you with this. Yeah. We may have found a lot of Moloch information coming from our leaders. We may have found that, you know, you may have even read into things like the Womb of Artemis, or, you know, like things like that. Moloch Island, Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. It's all just a show. It is a reality show. None of this is real, most likely. The most likely chance is that none of this is real. That we really are not living in base reality. And I think the one thing that we should be really focusing on is the Cicada simulation, or whatever AI simulation is being run or attempted to be run. It's not going to be a robot. It's not going to be, what is it, Skynet. It's not going to be, you know, it might be something like Skynet. It's not going to be like the Terminator. It's going to be like Skynet, actually. It's going to be a cloud. It's not going to be... It's going to be a cloud. It's going to be a cloud coming from satellites. It's not going to even be based on Earth. You know? So, once we have that cloud that can simulate every little thing that happens in this world, then we will be sucked into it. It may sound a little crazy, but read into the singularity. Read into the singularities. And you will find out that it's a paradox. And that... You will eventually, it's like a dream. You don't know where it begins and ends. So, you know, like, not to sound like a Hollywood fool here, but, you know, Inception, The Matrix, a lot of those movies, Interstellar, you know, a lot of those ones actually are kind of based a little in what I'm talking about here. It's not as simple as those movies, but, you know, you can extrapolate some good analogies from there. And, you know, also, too, remember that if this is fact, if they really are trying to create a simulation, they can't just make it evil. They got to make it benevolent. They got to throw good in with the evil. They got to throw legitimate chaos magic in with the black magic. They got to throw, like, you know, free spirit in there somewhere. I mean, honestly, I think that there is a fair amount of that. I'm not the one to say will or fate, but I think it's kind of a mix between the both. So keep in mind, remember not to fall for those dialectic tricks. Everything's not just black and white. Remember, everything's not for or against Trump, you know, and stuff like that. Well, make sure you check out your information without a bias as much as you can. Don't polarize yourself. Unpolarize yourselves. Seriously, just unpolarize yourself. Start looking for the information. Don't start looking for what information best suits you. If it's challenging your way of thinking, most likely that's the right path. And if it's not the right path, at least you challenged your way of thinking. Alright? So, it's the best thing I can leave you off with. I just want to leave this, video testimony kind of for my own posterity, and in case if I am onto something and, I start to find myself looking over my shoulder too much, which I'm not too concerned about. I have fun. I'm having fun. Anyways, have a good night, guys, and stay safe out there, too.